in the mornings, spend some time on something that you really love doing so that you can then do the hard stuff. The best way to increase your willpower is to see it as a muscle, and that the exercise that you're doing is self-control. Who of you have the same problem I do, which is to have control of your day? Like, I feel like I am being pulled to all kinds of different directions. I feel like I don't really have any control of my DAY. Who has the same problem? I'm a very reactionary person, so I feel like whatever my business needs, whatever my customer needs, whatever my to-do list needs, I get pulled in those different directions. So what I would like to talk about is how to kill your to-dos without killing yourself. The Willpower Workout. Yeah. 2 W's. So there's this thing called ego depletion. Who's heard of ego depletion? So the theory is basically that you have a limited container of willpower every day, and that there are events that either increase or deplete that. What if you could sort of reimagine your day so that you're actually adding to willpower and using the willpower when necessary? So I would like to introduce the Willpower Workout. The one thing that I realized personally with my challenge with my day is that it really is a struggle with willpower. It's like, what do I want to work on? If you imagine the things that you like doing, doesn't require much willpower. So imagine a dumbbell. When you think about the Willpower Workout, this is basically self-control. You basically are doing a delicate balance all day of self-control. So the thing that sort of radically altered my view on this was to think of these two things as me time and you time. Challenge for me is I wake up in the morning, I check my emails, and immediately I have 30 different people who want me to work on their time. So I haven't spent any time on me. So you've all noticed, I know in South Africa this is very popular, is to have a dumbbell with a very high weight on this side and a very low weight on that side. It's extremely uncomfortable to pull that up and down, but I don't know why, it's super popular. And that's kind of how my day looks, is I have like a you time and I have a me time. And so what happens is you end up exerting a lot of your willpower to other people, or you spend hardly any time thinking about yourself. So what I'd like you to do next is think about your day, and this is what changed things for me, is think about your morning and think about your afternoon. So what I changed is I started saying, okay, well, what if I start spending time on the stuff that I want to do in the mornings and spend time on the stuff that other people want me to do in the afternoons? So what I did was I started waking up a little earlier, and I started saying, okay, well, what do I need to do to use the least amount of willpower to get my day going, so that I could use some time on stuff that I don't like doing in my mornings. For instance, in my case, updating process documents and my active campaign and stuff that I generally feel like, oh, I'll have to get to it at the end of the day. But I've now dedicated my mornings to just working on the stuff that I know that I have to do. Then, when my day transitions from the morning into the afternoon, I then start working on you time, which is you want me to meet with you, you want me to process something with you, you want me to do sales calls with you. So I do not schedule any of my time in the mornings for anybody else. I only schedule time in the afternoons for everybody else. And so the immediate effect that's had on me is I feel like before I've actually spent a single moment with anybody, I feel like I've actually got a whole day's work done. So the worst thing you could possibly do, in my opinion, in the mornings is actually spend time on emails, because really what you're doing is you're immediately giving away the me time for the you time. You're immediately saying, listen, I am not winning my morning. I am going to be able to give you everything that I have. So you're basically relinquishing self-control, because it's that little fix that you're getting, and you're giving it over to someone else. So think of this weight as even between me and you. So what ends up happening is as you're diverting self-control back and forth, hopefully just once a day from me time to you time, you're actually using that self-control to start developing the willpower muscle. So some of the studies around ego depletion would say that the best way to increase your willpower is to see it as a muscle, and that the exercise that you're doing is self-control. Some of the studies that they did was people who were trying to quit smoking, for instance, were asked to also do activities around self-control, so like more exercise, and they were giving a very specific, rigid list of things that they had to do. And there were people who were told for 2 weeks, well, just live your regular life. The people who had to exert self-control were more inclined to be able to resist the urge of smoking, which is the addiction, than the people who were just said, hey, listen, for the next 2 weeks, do whatever you do, and then now your task is to go and resist the urge to smoke. So that is a super powerful method. This has really transformed my life. I wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning now, and I feel like I get a whole day's work done before noon. Then I'm more than happy to then just give myself over to the you in the afternoon. I'm happy to, I can spend time with my customers, do my sales calls, do all the conversations that feels like I am giving my time to other people. What's even more valuable is that I can now spend free time with my family as well, because I don't feel like I am interrupting my work time to spend time with my family. So it's transformed my life. The one thing that you can do tomorrow is set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier. Just do that and ask yourself, what can you do with that time? Some of the tips I want to give you is, which has been hard for me, which I'm working on, is to plan your next day the night before. Because if you wake up at 4 and you don't quite know what you're going to do, you've got this wide open space and you can't fill it up in the moment. So I've gone from planning my day in the morning at 4 to actually thinking about what I'm going to be doing from 4 till 7 the next morning. That's been huge for me. In the mornings, spend some time on something that you really love doing so that you can then do the hard stuff.